De Telehit nos encontramos en un momento que yo sé que muchas de ustedes están esperando, un grupo exitosísimo de los máximos representantes del pop en las últimas 2 décadas están con nosotros, se van a estar presentando en el Distrito Federal y además están preparando nuevo material discográfico y bueno, pues en esta ocasión me toca platicar con los Backstreet Boys. First of all, thank you very much for your time in this interview.
Hola, thank you.
Now, talking about, I mean, I know you're ready with the new album, but before that, I really believe that every time and every album gives you something to learn. What could be the most important thing that Unbreakable give you that you learn?
Well, I think Unbreakable was the first CD that we did as just 4 Backstreet Boys. You know, Kevin came to us in Europe on the Never Gone tour and said that he kind of wanted to phase out and do other things in his life. So I think the Unbreakable record really signifies kind of how we feel about each other and how we feel about the group, because we wanted to continue on making music. There's a lot of fans that still enjoy our music, and we're thankful for that. So there's a lot of people that come and go in the entertainment world. We've been in it for 16 years now, and at the end of the day, you know, the only 4 that are left that have to really be unbreakable are us. So that's, you know, I think the thing that we learned most about really pulling together and making the best record that we could, and you know, we've taken the record all around the world on tour, and we're grateful for the fans' support.
Cool. And now we have a great news for all your fans. You're preparing a new album. Tell us a little bit the story behind this new album.
Okay. I didn't know where we go. We've been in the studio now since the middle of January, and then we actually took a little bit of a break to go on tour to do South America and then Mexico. Once we get home, in about, well, 2 days actually, we'll be back home. Take about 10 days off, and then we're getting back in the studio again. It's been a great recording process this whole time, working with some brand new producers, T-Pain, Jim Johnson. We're about to work with Neo. We're back in with Max Martin again. And it's just, we're all really excited about it. The songs are turning out great. It's going back to being Backstreet Boys. It's going back to great harmonies, great melodies, and just great pop songs. So we're really stoked for it, and I think our fans are just as excited. So.
And what could be the biggest challenge in order to do this album?
The biggest.
Nick, tell us the biggest challenge.
I think the biggest challenge. Yeah, right now. That was silent. No, the biggest challenge is probably ourselves. You know, challenging ourselves and being better, and trying to be the best that we can be. And the way we do that is by having great chemistry between each other, a common goal, like seeing the exact same thing when it comes to music, you know, when it comes to touring, when it comes to the future of the group. So the biggest challenge is having all those pieces and everything just click at the exact same time. And when it does, that's when you get an amazing album, and you get, you know, everybody on board. You know, all these great producers start to want to be involved with us, and you know, so that is the challenge. But I think that we are winning that challenge and that battle right now, because we are more united than we have ever been before, especially
Cool.
as 4.
Cool. Do you have plans to do any collaboration in this album? To have a collaboration for somebody?
We actually did a song with Jim Johnson. He's really good friends with Pitbull.
Okay.
And we're not exactly sure what's going to make the album right now. Like we all said, we're just in the process of making the album, so what may be recorded now may not be actually on the final product. But you know, we've actually talked about doing possibly some other collaborations. Right now, everything's kind of up in the air, and we don't really want to say too much, because if it doesn't be on, if it's not on the record, then people are like, oh, you told us something. You know, we look like liars. So, but we're definitely into collaborating. You know, we feel like there's a lot of great artists out there, whether it's on our record or maybe even having a chance to be on somebody else's record would be really cool.
Cool. Now, I have questions, specific questions for each one of you, starting with Howie. I know that you have Puerto Rican blood.
Mm-hmm.
What is the most important thing that you admire about Latin culture?
Well, for me, my mother's, like you say, is Puerto Rican, and I grew up in an Anglo-Saxon Puerto Rican family, kind of a mixed cultural generation that's now coming in the United States. And for me, it's always been about, and I've been very, you know, proud to be able to try to bring what little bit of Latin culture I have in me into the group. And we've had a chance to do some songs in Spanish. Even tonight in our show, we're going to do one of our songs in Spanish as well. So we have a song called Spanish Eyes. And I think, in the States, it's the second biggest population right now, the Latin culture. And I think it's a beautiful culture. When we get a chance to go down to Puerto Rico and the guys get a chance to come to the homeland of my mother, it's a beautiful place. I mean, the people are not only in Puerto Rico, but all over, like, South America and Mexico. The people are really, as I always say, cariñosa. They're very passionate, for music. And I think some of our craziest fans in the world, because they have so much love for us. And that's, I think, a part of the culture is music and being, really admiring artists. And but besides that, I mean, I love the Latin food, the Latin music, Latin women. But I'm married now, so
now, true or false? Is that true that when you were kids you did a tryout for Menudo, that it's a big Latin band when we were kids?
That is true. Actually, that's very true.
What is the most important thing that you learned from that time that you didn't make it?
That I didn't, unfortunately, know Spanish. And they sing all in Spanish.
And it wasn't meant to be.
And it wasn't meant to be.
This is where you're supposed to be.
God had me planned to be in the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, you have to be really happy right now. Now, Brian, how important is faith in your career?
Oh wow, faith is an everyday importance for me. I think faith kind of guides me. It helps me set a catalyst for myself, a bar for myself, to be who I am and not somebody else that I'm not. It's like my compass. I call my faith my compass because it always steers me in the right direction. So it's very, very important in everyday life.
Cool. Now, do you have plans to do another solo album?
I do. I'm writing and working on a new record, but right now the focus, for the past year has really been, rebuilding the brand of the Backstreet Boys. I think that's just like Nick was saying earlier. We're all clicking and we're seeing the same things, and it's really moving fast, and that's a good feeling to have because it feels like we're 10 years younger, and we're climbing the charts again. So, but yes, in the future I will work on another, contemporary Christian / gospel record. So. Cool. The fans have been supportive.
Cool. Now, Nick, I know that you do some act. You were in The Howling. Do you have plans to do another movie?
Well, as far as the acting goes, it's something that I've more and more become more passionate about because, and come to find out, just recently, my grandfather was a teacher of the arts on my mom's side. So I started to really take. You have to have a passion for it because it takes a long time to work on your craft and then also to even just get into movies in the first place, because there's so many people competing, especially in LA. So then what I started to do was start to write small films and screenplays, and I figured maybe that would be another way that I can kind of get into the acting world. But I'd filmed a movie that actually got stopped as far as production goes. It was called